Hello everyone, my name is Ravi Vasan and I'm a part of Group 1 and I would like to present, me and my team would like to present about the translation technique by Albin and Molina. And this is our group member. You can see that there's 5 of us. And let's start about the first technique is discursive creation. Molina and Albir defines discursive creation as a technique to establish a temporary equivalence that is totally unpredictable and out of context. Discursive creation is often used in a creative field such as title to have a stronger impact for the target text. Discursive creation usually changes its text, most of it almost unrelated to the original text, but it carries the same or maybe stronger meaning. Maybe you're asking, what is mainly useful? Most of the time, discursive creation is used for translating title, that is, if it's translated literally, would not be interesting to the consumer to see in the first place. In simple terms, it used to make people more interested to the idea.
Okay, well, hello everybody. So I'm Ahmad Dazubani Arumala. Here I'm going to explain about substitution translation technique. So basically, this technique is where a word, expression, or element in the source text is replaced with different one in the target text. So it's basically like we try to fit the original word from the source text and adapt the word into the target text based on the cultural or situational context. So, somehow it's not translated literally, but changed into something more natural or familiar in the target audiences. And based on the book, Molina and Albir defines substitution. It's to change linguistic elements for para-linguistic elements. So basically, it's like changing the word, such as thank you, into something different in the target language. So, for example, for me, it's like the giving thank you in English, and in Arabic, you just need to put your hands on your chest like this. What is mainly used for? It's used to make translation sounds more natural and culturally appropriate. Substitution helps replace unfamiliar or unnatural expressions with ones that the audiences can easily understand.
Good day everyone, I'm Aisyah Marsha Safarina and today I will talk about amplification. So as we already read and understand about Molina and Albir's theory, I want to tell you guys about amplification, which is a translation technique where the translator adds extra information to the target text, which are TT, and which is not explicitly stated in the source text. So basically, it's a simple way to understand that is amplification is making implicit meaning explicit. So implicit meaning to be explicit. And so when you're asking what's the key and what's the use for that, well, amplification helps make the message too accessible. So the accessibility is the key to add details, explanation, or classification. And it helps to avoid the ambiguity or even, some parts that really reference in unfamiliar taste or unfamiliar culture to the target audience needs for more context.
Okay, hello everyone, my name is Panji Pulungahana Jaya with student number 105. So today I will give you an example of discursive creation. Discursive creation is a method that is totally unpredictable and out of context. For example, you have the source language, time is money, and then we have the target language, setiap detik adalah taruhan hidup. So as you can see, there is totally different meaning. The first one focusing on the value of the time, and then on the second one, we value about life. It's totally different. Both are talking two different main argument. And then next we have the example number 2 is source language, Game of Thrones, and then the target language is pertarungan tahta berdarah. So it's also changing from a games into a fight, and it's bloody fight. So it's totally different and very unpredictable. This method can be applied in situations like this because usually it relies on the situations that happen in the game, so it's rarely happen in the daily life. And then for the last example, we have source language. He is walking on thin ice. And then for the target language, we have dia sedang bermain dengan kehancuran sendiri. So as you can see, the first one is like he is walking on a thin ice, and then on the second one is talking about his life that is his career, his life that is going to be destroyed by his own doing. So it's very different and totally unpredictable.
My name is Sharadana and I will be the one who explains some of the examples of substitution in translation technique. First sentence we have is for bread, and if you translate it into Indonesian, it would be bocah jahat. In here you would notice that bread by definition means a spoiled child, and the translator translated this into the word bocah. While it may not have the similar meaning, but you would notice that bocah is an improper version of children, and by this sense you would understand that this child or bocah is not actually a respectable one. And through the general term of substitution of word, basically substituted based on the societal or the cultural context of it. The same examples can be mostly found in movies and its subtitles. Or when an actor rolls his eyes and nods, the translator would write the subtitle as "Ya, ya did." This is in line with Molina's and Albert's definition, which you use a paralinguistic or the non-verbal actions and you substitute it into a linguistic elements.
So, welcome with me again. So here I'm gonna give one more examples of substitution translation technique, which here is from the source language. Sometimes we heard someone in English saying something like and in the target language we can just say it as it's the same. That's called substitution, which means that from the source language it is some kind of expression, and for the target language it is translated into something para-linguistic stuffs. And here we can understand that substitution is mainly for translating a word into something that is culturally and also socially acceptable.
Okay, next we have amplification. So amplification is a technique where you add some extra information without modifying the meaning. So for example, the source language would be she will look at him, and the target language will become dia menatapnya dengan penuh kecurigaan. So as you can see, it's very different. The first one is just look at it. It's very neutral, and in the second one, in the target language, you can see the translator added mencurigakan. So it's suspicious. It's adding new information. So from neutral text into something that has a context in it. Another example for the source language would be, but don't worry, I'll get you home, and then translate it into, tapi kau jangan khawatir, aku akan mengantarmu pulang. So as you can see, but don't worry, I'll get you home. There is no you in it, and when you translate it into Indonesian, there is someone else inside the text, indicating that there is something that is being modified, but the meaning is simply same. And then we have the last example. The source language will be 1 hour, and then the target language will be 1 jam. Like so, as you can see in the source language, there is no again. There is no word again. But in the target language, as you can see, there is lagi. Lagi is not even in the source language. So that's why this is also part of amplification, where you add an information into the sentence and it specifies the meaning of the word.
As you can see, that is only a fraction of what Molina and Albir explained in their theory of translation. We understand that we only scratched the surface of what they explained in their theory of translation. So that's it from us. Thank you very much.